Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have. Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well today. We're going to talk today about why mindset matters to lose weight and also to make any other changes in life, and also how to begin to create it. So before we dive into mindset and weight loss, I wanted to read a comment that I got on Facebook Messenger. I received it from a listener, and I thought it carried a lot of value, so I wanted to read it. She wrote, "Hey, thanks for all the great healthy recipes and wellness tips." That's for, healthy recipes are on one of my Instagram handles, so that's what she's talking about there. And then she wrote, "I've listened to your podcast, and although I can't say that I have a weight or eating issue I'm working on, the thought work and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques can obviously be applied to any challenge we are facing. Thanks for the awesome info." I love this comment so much because she's exactly right. The information I'm sharing really are the basic tactics and the work I use with all of my clients, even the ones without food and weight issues. So these are techniques that are often used in therapy and coaching to create any change. And really, you can take them and apply them to anything you're trying to work on in life, you're trying to change in life, to any goal you're trying to reach. Okay, so moving on. Today, we are going to talk about why mindset, which is like the established set of attitudes you hold, creates weight loss or creates weight gain, and how to move yourself into the specific mindset that is needed in order to lose weight. And there really is a specific mindset that you must hold in order to start dropping weight and keeping it off for good. So you can use one specific mindset to lose weight, but the weight will come back. And so there's a different kind of mindset that if you cultivate that and practice that and create it, it will really help keep the weight off for life. And as always, I'll give you some specific strategies you can begin to implement right away to get you on your weight loss journey and creating a more healthy relationship with food and also with your body and your own self. Okay, so I like to put mindset into two categories that you've probably heard of before. It's fixed mindset and growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is just what it says it is. It's a belief and attitude system that is fixed. It's unchanging. If you hold this mindset, you know what you know, and that is it. Your thoughts and beliefs to you are right, they're true, and unable to be changed. A fixed mindset is so limiting. And this is why it's a problem for weight loss. And honestly, like I talked about in the opening, so many other things in life. If you have a fixed mindset, and by the way, you can have a fixed mindset around certain areas of your life and a growth mindset in others. So you will not be able to lose weight for good, period, if you have a fixed mindset around weight loss. But you could also have a growth mindset around your relationships or around your work. So some of this work is figuring out, where exactly do I have that growth mindset? You might have it in certain areas, but where do I also have a fixed mindset, with which many of us carry in certain areas of our life? And most of us who have ever dealt with food or weight issues usually carry it around weight loss or our weight. So here's some examples of how you might think or act if you carry a fixed mindset. And as I read them, ask yourself and be super honest here if any of these might fit for you. So if you avoid challenges, you give up easily, You feel threatened by others' success. You may have a desire to look smart or think effort is fruitless. You may ignore feedback, not wanting to take any critique, and you believe your abilities are fixed, that you are unable to change. Okay, so a growth mindset is a belief and attitude system that's open to change and growth. You're willing, you're open, you believe growth can happen, change can happen. You believe it. So a mindset has the sense of freedom with it. Things are just not as tight and rigid and right and wrong and black and white. So if you hold this mindset, you keep going when failure arrives. You know that effort is required to build new skills. You may you probably find inspiration in other success. You embrace challenges. You're open to accepting critique. It doesn't shut you down. You don't get angry about it. You desire to learn and you work to build your abilities. You put effort in. So our mind plays an incredibly powerful role in what we believe and how we think. What we think about ourselves and our abilities really does decide how we act and lead our lives. So I'm sure you've heard the saying, what you believe you achieve. And this, our beliefs can be conscious or unconscious. And how you choose to interpret your experiences kind of sets the boundaries or the limits on what you do or do not accomplish, how you behave, how you don't behave. So remember, many of these beliefs are unconscious. And this is why it's so important to use thought work to begin to be more aware and to get those beliefs that are in the unconscious that may be holding you back and bring them into the light so you can start to shift them. So Carl Jung described this as your shadow. He said that this is the unknown side of us. It's the instinctive and irrational, and it's prone to psychological projection in which a perceived personal inferiority is recognized as a perceived moral deficiency in someone else. Basically, it means if we don't do the work to become aware of our shadow or our unconscious set of beliefs and get super, super honest about them and ourselves, we will end up acting them out in our behaviors automatically. And not only that, but project this onto others and judge them for it. So to me, that's just always so fascinating. So here's an example of an unconscious belief that creates some misery in our lives. You unconsciously hold the belief that anything I do will result in failure. So there's no point in trying. You may not even know this is a core belief that's there until you start doing this work and becoming aware. But that's the unconscious belief that's there. So your automatic behavior with this belief is to notice in others when they fail, and you become self-righteous in your thinking. You think things like they should just stop trying. They're always going to fail. And in your own life, you unconsciously sabotage your goals, your dreams. And if we're talking about weight loss, you do this by overeating, over drinking. You may get really close to your goal weight, but right when you're almost there, you start gaining weight back. And this is how all behavior is born from belief. This is why uncovering your shadow self or your unconscious core beliefs by doing the thought work will help you lose weight and, like we talked about in the beginning, really make any changes you're wanting to make in your life. If you look at failures and setbacks as a way to grow and change and adapt, if you really hold that belief that when I fail, when I do something wrong, it is a chance to grow and change and adapt. So there's not a lot of shaming that goes on. There's not a lot of telling yourself how terrible you are. You just keep screwing it up. You really start to populate thoughts of, this wasn't easy to fail, and I know I'm going to, grow, change, and adapt from it. You really have those thoughts that more automatically come up for you. And if that happens for you, you are in a mindset for permanent weight loss, in optimizing your healthy behaviors, creating new habits, creating change. So remember the framework from a couple episodes back. Belief gives us our identity. And from our identity, we have thoughts. And from these thoughts, we have feelings. And our feelings direct our behavior, which then gives us our results. And from those results, we get more thoughts that lead to feelings and then lead to behavior. If that doesn't make sense to you, rewind and listen again, take notes, whatever you need to do to kind of process it, or go back and listen to the framework episode. It's shorter than most of my episodes, but it really gives that foundation on the how we use thoughts to create change. So, because our behavior is born from belief, it is really imperative we create a growth mindset when it comes to losing weight for good. Now, you can, again, have a fixed mindset and lose weight in the short term and all those things happen, but it will be gained back over time. Eating habits will not stick, and this goes for any change in life. So when it comes to make lasting change for ourselves, a growth mindset is imperative. And remember, I touched on it in the beginning, but you may hold a different mindset around different parts of your life. You may find you have a growth mindset when you're within your work environment or with your parenting, or you may find you have a fixed mindset when it comes to losing weight or food or your ability to change. And this is why we want to find out first why we are overeating. We need to know the reasons behind the overeating and the why. Now, you can also marry behaviors for weight loss along with trying to figure this out. So you can do both at the same time. You don't necessarily have to have this come exactly first, but it needs to happen at the beginning because you really need to figure out where the mindset is. And if you have a fixed mindset, these are examples. You may be thinking things like, this is never going to work. I'm never going to be able to do this. I've tried this before. It won't work. If you have a growth mindset, you will be thinking thoughts like, I am open to trying. I'm willing to make mistakes and not give up. When I make a mistake, I commit to learning from it and not shaming myself. So those are two totally different ways of, thoughts around while you're trying to get healthy and drop weight. And that second growth mindset is really what you need to make it last for good, to keep habits in place for good. Once that this mindset's established, then there's an understanding. And from that understanding, we as humans really want to understand. It helps us find some clarity around things. And so from that, we can begin to pull things apart, unwind the stories we're telling ourselves, bring our shadows into the light, and move into the growth mindset we need to get our weight loss goals or any goals for change. But not only that, this is what gives us weight loss and change for life, like I've been saying over and over, because it's really important. So unearthing the why we overeat helps us then move into making changes in thoughts and behaviors to create weight loss for good. So here we go, some practical things. To figure out why you're overeating is literally by stopping overeating. And I know that that's a little harsh and direct, but it really does work every single time. And once you do this, every negative thought will come up for you. All the reasons we overeat come to the surface. And honestly, it really does suck. It's really, really hard. It does not feel good at all. But it really is necessary to move you along in losing your weight for good. So here's a real practical way to do this. Try stopping halfway, or I should say it this way. I don't like the word try. Make the decision to stop halfway through a meal or food that you absolutely adore and love. And then set a timer for 30 minutes. During these 30 minutes, with the food sitting there that you really, really want to finish and eat, sit and feel what thoughts and feelings come up as one of your favorite foods or meals sits next to you and you're not allowed to eat it. Write everything down. All the thoughts, feelings, even if they seem silly or weird to you, write everything down you experience. Also, pay close attention to your body sensations. Remember that when you have a thought, it creates a feeling, which has that little chemical cocktail attached to it. So think about, what am I feeling in my body? What are the sensations? Write it all down. Because it feels so yuck or uncomfortable. I mean, for some of you, it may just be uncomfortable. For many people with food relationship issues that are really unhealthy, it almost feels torturous. And so because it feels so yuck, it puts us in a position of really wanting to rush this process. That's why I had you set a timer. We want to get out of it so very quickly because it's very uncomfortable. But I want you to fight the urge to do this. And I shouldn't say fight either. I want you to sit with the urge to do this. The longer you can sit and be uncomfortable, the more answers on your why you overeat are going to come up for you and become clear. So don't rush the process. Sit with it 30 minutes. Be uncomfortable and write. Allow those awkward or uncomfortable feelings to come up. Once you've established your whys of overeating and you know your mindset, it's time to start unwinding and pulling apart the thoughts in order to shift, to create more useful ones that will help you move more quickly into losing your weight for good or getting any goal you're looking to get to. And then also creating that food relationship that is healthy and loving towards yourself. And here's how to do it. For every thought that you wrote down that you deem not useful for weight loss, again, things like, I don't want to do this again, or this is so hard, or I'm just so sad and want to eat, not feel this anymore, and I can't do this, or something's wrong with me that I think that I'm feeling so uncomfortable just in making myself to stop eating for 30 minutes. For every thought like this, I want you to write down how that exact thought makes you feel. And then what behavior you predict, or you may already know, that the feeling will give you momentum to perform. So, example, if I have the thought, I need this food to feel okay, or I can't do this, the feelings that might come up for those thoughts for me are sadness, helplessness, worthlessness. And from those feelings, I can at least predict that I will behave in ways like this. I won't make any changes to my food behaviors. I may eat more because I want to change my negative feelings momentarily. And the results I get from this are no weight lost, maybe some more weight gained, and I'm definitely not getting to my goals and dreams or the way I truly want to be living. And when I get these results, my brain populates more thoughts like, I suck, I can't do anything right, I'm a person who's just unable to change. Remember, it's a cycle. Remember that foundational framework. It's a cycle. So now we're right back into the fixed mindset, and now we know that truly no change will be made. We need a growth mindset for change. Without it coming first, lasting behaviors for change they're not going to stick. It's not going to happen. So decide today to try the Stop Eating Challenge and journal what comes up for you. It's a wonderful first step to begin to really unearth your unconscious core beliefs and thoughts that need to be shifted in order to create lasting change. So you need to know what you're working with in order to start shifting and make the change. And although it is challenging, it is so worth the work. So thank you for sharing this space with me, for listening, and remember to thank your own self for being willing to consider making some small changes in your life to get you closer and closer to your goals and dreams. You can head over to my social media for more resources. You can find me on Instagram at Heinen Counseling and Coaching. Last name, or Heinen, is spelled Heynen, Heinen Counseling and Coaching. And once you're there, definitely feel free to message me or comment on a post with any questions you may have about all things weight loss, wellness, optimizing health, nutrition, thought work, getting to your goals. I'm going to be including more and more questions within my future podcast episodes with my best answers for these questions. I also have a recipes only page on Instagram. It's all high protein recipes. A lot of you know I'm a huge proponent of protein. I've been doing this for myself and my clients. the high protein thing for, 15 plus years. I've kind of been a believer. So I have a separate Instagram page called Peak Protein Recipes. Peak is spelled P-E-A-K, like Mountain Peak. And it's just a real quick resource that you can click on to get some high protein recipes. And I include lots of desserts there too. I love sweets. And so I've learned how to bake and cook in ways that I can have the things that I love to have in a much healthier version. So those are on there too. And if you keep listening right now, you're going to get some more information on how my clients take a deeper dive on these topics with me and get a much more slowed down, guided version. And so you'll learn about it through online programs and coaching that I offer. It's where you get, like I said, the actual structured lessons. They're a little more deeper. They're a lot more slowed down. Worksheets, journal prompts, support and coaching behind all the stuff I'm putting out there to lose your weight for good, improve your health, and live the life you've been dreaming about in the body you've been dreaming about. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services.